started in just a minute here. If everybody wants to grab a seat. Can I ask you a favor? When I talk
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
1 Million Cups is an educational program for the startup community. Each week we bring together entrepreneurs, civic leaders, and other community members to hear about the products offered by 2 local startups and the challenges they're facing.
You're going to learn a lot from them and they're going to learn a lot from you, and that's the point of why we're here.
It's not just about finding out all your good things. It's like, what's getting in your way? What do you really need?
It's just about real people standing up and talking about what they're working on.
And then you also get to hear about the heart behind their business.
This really offers a place for entrepreneurs to go when they don't know where else to go.
1MC has really filled that void to provide an atmosphere and an opportunity for people to connect.
There are a lot of classes that you can take about how to do specific things in a startup, but to see somebody actually go through those steps is a real live experiential learning opportunity.
Being involved with 1 Million Cups is absolutely incredible. It's been incredible for our city. The leaders are top-notch, and the community involved is terrific.
We're always looking for new communities to join the team. If you're interested in caffeinating your community, go to 1millioncups.com to apply.
1 Million Cups changed the game.
We'll see you guys all next week. Thanks.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Right now? All right, hopefully, that's a new connection. You can talk to that person again afterwards. 1 Million Cups is really all about getting this community together, getting us connected. And really hope, these connections are what keeps you coming back week after week. I know a lot of you guys are here for venture school, and I definitely just want to invite you to keep coming back even when it's not part of your class requirements, okay? So 1 Million Cups is a program we do every single week here in the corridor. We've been doing it for over 3 years now, so we've had hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs come and present, which is a pretty cool thing, I think. We rotate between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. It's a 1-hour program, so really simple, low impact time commitment. And it's all about bringing people together. It's all about supporting new ideas, hearing ideas, giving each other feedback, all that good stuff. So every week we have 2 presenters come and share their ideas with us. There's plenty of seats. Come on in. We're still getting started. We have 2 new entrepreneurs, new business ideas, community ideas, stuff like that, come and share their ideas. They get 6 minutes to give a pitch, and I told our presenters today we're going to start enforcing that. So if you hear me start to clap, that means they're going a little long. And then they get really good feedback from you guys. So we do about 15 minutes of question and answer. And then you guys also should have feedback forms in front of you. So make sure you have 2 of those, 1 for each presenter. And those are just really helpful for them if you have ideas that they might want to look into, if you have connections, people that might be helpful to them. Take a minute to write those things down. Those are super helpful to our presenters. And I'll say, even if you feel like, oh, I'm not in that industry, I don't really know their business, I don't know if I have ideas, you do have ideas, okay? And it's really helpful for the presenters just to know if you understood what they were talking about or, you know, what questions you had. So definitely do take a minute to fill those out. I want to give an extra shout out to these guys in the back with the camera. They're one of your fellow Venture School teams, for those of you who are here from Venture School, Blue Vine Media. They have a streaming business, so they are live streaming our program today. I believe you can catch it on their website. You guys are all here, so we wouldn't need to do that. And I think the last thing I want to do is give a shout out to our sponsors. So 1 Million Cups is a very grassroots program. You know, this happens in 87 cities now, all local volunteers, local organizers. But we do have a couple sponsors who help make this possible. So one of the big ones is JPEC, the John Papa John Entrepreneurial Center at the University of Iowa. They've been a big supporter of this program since basically the very beginning, and they're our presenting sponsor for this year. Also, NewBoCo, the New Bohemian Innovation Collaborative, does a ton of work to put this on. You know them for programs like the Iowa Startup Accelerator, Imagination Iowa, Vault Co-working, a lot of the entrepreneurial activities around that organization. I work for the Gazette, so they are supportive of this program. And then Braden, who takes our wonderful photos every week, works for DeNovo Alternative Marketing, so they are a sponsor as well. Cool. So I think the last thing we need to tell you before we welcome our presenters up today, since most of you have been here, you know what I'm going to say. But we like to welcome our presenters with a huge, loud standing ovation before they even take the stage. That really just gives them that last extra confidence boost before they get up to share their idea with you, which, you know, can be a pretty vulnerable experience to share your idea with a room full of people. And so we really just like to make them feel supportive, give them that energy, and they can give it back to us in our pitch. So 2 presenters today, like I said. The first one is Eventful, which is one of the Summer Accelerator teams. And then we have 360 Momentum, which was actually founded by a JPEC alum. So, you know, all of you guys who are still students, you know, kind of take a look at that and see, you know, where you could end up in a couple of years. Cool. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to welcome my friends from Eventful to the stage. Let's give them that big, loud, standing ovation. All right.
Start by asking you to imagine Samantha. Or the story of Samantha. Samantha is a recent college graduate. She is from out of state, so she has to plan 2 parties for graduation, and she has to find 2 venues. So she is very particular about details and design and catering. She wants to make sure people with dietary restrictions aren't going to have any issues. She wants to have a homey and cozy environment so her parents can be comfortable and they can rest. So there are no problems, everybody has a good time. So she has a list of 20 venues, but because she decided to plan 6 months in advance instead of a year, she has lost her top choices. So she has 5 backups, but the 5 backups, they're not giving her what she wants, the feeling that she wants behind the event. They're not letting her bring in her own catering. They won't let her bring her own cake with like the school mascot and all that stuff. So she's really frustrated and stressed out because you only graduate undergrad once, or unless you go back, and this should be perfect. So this is where Eventful comes in. Eventful gives you the event spaces when you need them, the way you want them, and we offer you added services that are going to help make your event even better. And as event holders, we understand that you are trusting us as a company with your vision for an event, your innermost desires, like you're trusting us to show that what you're thinking in your head can be brought to action, and we take that seriously. As a homeowner lending your home for this event, we understand that you're trusting us with your investment and the things that you hold dear. And so this is why we are a relationship-based company. We connect people, we build trusting relationships, and we build on your network and share ours with you in return. So whether you are lending your home and trusting us to help you capitalize on your investment, whether you are trusting us to bring your vision to pass and find you the perfect venue, or whether you are trusting us to connect you with customers as an event planner or a caterer, we have it covered. And we take small fees off so we can keep doing what we do best. So, like we said, we are very relationship-oriented and customer-based. So we get to the customers through networks. We build on people. We talk to the people you know. We build trust with you, and we care about what you want and what you need. And so we use our website and social media to support those activities. Now, as most businesses do, we have competitors.
So the easiest way to kind of describe Eventful is just like an Airbnb or a matchmaker for residential events. There are a couple other businesses that are doing this. Our biggest competitor is EventUp. You guys might have heard of it. It's basically like a website that has listings for commercial events. However, they don't really expand as far as Iowa City. They're more in big cities like Chicago, San Francisco, LA. They don't do exclusively just residential events. They are more commercial. And then they are just a website, so they don't really offer those added partnerships like we want to through design, catering, cleaning, all that good stuff. And then they're not relationship based, they are just a website. And then finally, they do have those listings, but there's no like direct booking. You have to go to another site, so that makes it a little complicated. A couple of our indirect competitors, Airbnb is a big one that's super trustworthy. If they did decide to expand to having events in houses, they would be a big competitor. And then just event planners that are already associated with event venues where you can just like call them up. They're a big one. And then lastly, the status quo. Are people willing to really accept this idea or not? So the management team, Becca said she is the Chief Executive Officer. I'm the Chief Financial Officer. And then Jisoo, she is working out of Korea, and she's our Chief Analytics Officer. So for financial projections, this is basically the short and sweet version. If you guys do have questions, I'd be happy to answer those later. But for the first 2 years, we are looking at having a loss. This is so we can kind of plan some demo events, really get the word out there about ourselves, really network and market, and just have like a platform so people understand what we are trying to offer. The third year, we are hoping to cut down on some of those expenses, really build a customer basis so we can turn a profit. So then our goals and what we've completed right now, it does say 45 customer interviews. We are up to 60 this week. We do hope to be over 100 by the end of the program. We also are planning a demo event right now. We would like to have a couple more of these planned by next year. We do have a website in progress. We want that up and running, kind of test that out. And then research, we have to keep doing that, obviously. And finally, we don't have any funds right now, but we are looking for some investors. So that's it.
We also decided to highlight some of the problems we're facing, so anyone who has expertise in these areas or wants to give feedback or ask us questions on these, that would be great.
Awesome. So we'll open it up for questions. If you wanted to stand up, kind of say your name, who you are before your question, we'll let these guys hear them.
Yeah? Hi, I'm Ricardo. I'm a real estate agent here, so this is very interesting. I have a couple comments. You're in the early stage of this, right? Yes. Finding people who are willing to rent homes, unrented properties. We have a very low vacancy rate, so that might be an issue. But my big question for you is, and this is kind of not related to the real estate, but I'm just curious, what do you do with insurance and liability for these homeowners? Because unless they have a commercial policy, then, and that's a problem that Airbnb has as well, and maybe that's why they haven't expanded into this stuff. So that's my question. What's up with insurance?
So we've actually encountered that question a lot with talking to customers who are homeowners. At this point, we are doing more research on insurance and the best policies to take out. We're also looking at places like Airbnb to see what they're doing for their customers. So we're definitely thinking about it and planning security measures and insurance so that the homeowner isn't liable, or so that the customers are protected at every side. So we're working on it.
Okay. Yeah, what I know is that what I've been told by insurance agents is that if you're gonna put your house in Airbnb, it's best to have a commercial policy.
Okay.
So I don't know if it might be the same for if you're gonna have your house on, Eventful. I don't know. Ask your insurance specialist.
Thank you for that.
And I know someone who's really good at giving recommendations.
Yes, I would take that.
Of all the customers you've talked to so far, what percentage of them are people who are either in the process of getting married or have already like seriously planned and executed their wedding?
Well, I think most of the people that I've talked to were already married. I didn't think of that as something to ask.
I bring this up because every single one of my friends who's got married in this area, the number one complaint they have is that every space in this area is packed.
Right.
It's just a waiting list is going back at least a year. So given your market approach, this may not be the best area to get started at, because any available space that could be rented or could be turned into an event property already has, and they have a long waiting list.
Okay.
So I'm curious what you found out, or what you're finding out, like regarding the character of the properties. Like, my daughter just got married a couple months ago, and trying to find a place for a bridal shower ended up in a real estate conference room, so you had to decorate it like crazy to give it any kind of character at all. What are you finding about that as far as preferences and wants?
So that's something that we have to explore more, but I think people do want to be able to customize the environment to what they want, but I also think it would, just personally, I think it would help if the environment matches the style that they want. So what we would like to do is, if for instance someone wants to have a bridal shower and they say they want this kind of feel, then we match them with a house that has that feel. So like if she wants a classic or really feminine environment, then we find a house that has like a sunroom with, I don't know, flowery couches and nice decor and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Hi, my name's Lisa. Yeah, this is definitely a challenge. I do wonder, to Carter's question about your cash flow and insurance, because that really is, I think people keep bringing that up because that is just that'd be something to figure out. I was looking at your profit and loss projections, wondered if you figured that in. The second is just the reality of life in people's homes. So how are you thinking about, so you might have homes, they say, yep, we can make this available, and then life intrudes, which is your kids get sick, you can't take the vacation from work that you were planning to be out of the house. So how do you plan that contingency for your event? And then if you're thinking of locking people into a contract, but that's not really their primary line of business, one of two things may happen. They may say, sorry, this isn't my line of business, I need my home back. So how are you planning to handle that? Because that will definitely happen.
Well, I thank you for bringing it up. That's something we will consider more from today, but I would, just thinking about it now, I would like to have enough houses and inventory, I guess, of places where people could rent, so that if that were to come up, we could offer them, we could tell the customer the situation, then offer them another alternative.
Oh, Nicholas, by the way. Do you plan on this being mostly an app-based business or a web-based business?
So, as I said, we want to we don't want it to be like an app you just use, or just like any other app. Our website will support the activities that we do, but we want to really make connections with people and like talk on the phone. I know that's like ancient, but talk on the phone, like meet people in person, shake hands, but also we use social media and our website to support those activities.
Well, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make in-person relationships, but a business like this is going to need a huge customer base. How are you going to scale that personal touch?
Well, that's a good question. There's a lot we're still researching, but I do think that with offering our customers more feedback or options or customization, we can scale that customer service, and then we can, add features that may be beneficial to each customer as well.
I think another big thing that we mean by the relationship base is just within a city, people know who to trust and that kind of thing. So a big thing we're finding with our customer discovery is well, I'm not going to trust a random in my house, but if you knew that person more, then I think that would be better. So I think mostly what we're getting at with relationship base is also just the trust that people have. Go ahead. Yeah.
My name's Jay. why would then someone want to use this service if they could just call the person they know and say, hey, can I use your house for bridal shower or whatever? What are you going to do to insert your service into that exchange?
Well, I think you may not be directly connected to that person, so it may not be a person that knows a friend of a friend of a friend. In some way, I think we're all connected, but I mean, with knowing who's in your home, we can tell you about that person, you can meet them, we can help you connect with them, but I mean, if we're gonna insert ourselves into people who are, like, if I wanna use my neighbor's house, that's something we have to think about, honestly. I don't know. Yes.
Niall, so do you want to do like a kind of like a customer profile? So like property owners have a profile, users have a profile. That way you can do like a rating system. It'd also be like a good way to familiarize each other with.
I think we definitely want to do have like reviews and ratings, and we want them to be able to see each other. Even if they don't want to interact directly, we want them to know like one another in some way. So I do think that
Could you affiliate it maybe to like sign up through Facebook? Maybe a lot of people use Facebook.
We could do that. Thank you for that suggestion. Yes.
Hey, one last thing. Another thing to consider is some cities have ordinances in residential areas with parking and just traffic. You can't have a bunch of cars. You can't use the house for a commercial purpose unless they have a special permit, and even then, having a large event may not be a good idea. It's not like you guys are having huge parties for now. So that's the thing to keep in mind, how to get around that. And also, just one comment, I would think it would be best for you to focus on people who already own Airbnbs or venues and network with them. I really like that you're relationship focused. I think that's going to help you a lot. But if you work with those people, one, they have empty houses, because really working with people who are living in the house could be a big problem. Because life just happens and it's crazy. But yeah, I would recommend working with people who already own Airbnbs, grow that catalog, help them get business and grow their catalog, and just build those business relationships with those people. That's just a thought.
Thank you. We will definitely.
Yeah, talk to me if you have any questions.
Will do. Thank you.
So, it might be a little early stage to be asking this question, but I guess I'm just curious what you guys have thought about in terms of marketing. You know, because like you said, that graduation party, that bridal shower, that's usually, you know, a one-time event, and I might not even think to have it in somebody's home. So how are you going to kind of get that awareness that this is even an option?
Well, we are thinking about that and how to, I guess, figure out what events people are holding or what events people may want to hold if they had this as an option. Just one of our ways of marketing is holding demo events, or would be holding demo events, inviting people, getting contact information, and then reaching out to those people afterwards. Also going to networking events, so even if we have to pay for those, getting into different areas where people socialize and, you know, talking to them, exploring it with them. And then we were also thinking about doing like productions, if you will, to garner attention, and, you know, somebody walks past and says, oh, what's that? So, yeah, stuff like that. Yes.
Kind of going off what Sarah said was, like, who are these people that are throwing these events, and where are these events? Like, obviously, they're not going to be doing full-on weddings in someone's house. Maybe birthday parties, but what's to stop us going to like Chuck E. Cheese, the PlayStation? Like, from my personal experience is that people prefer to do, like, for example, a birthday party at, you know, PlayStation or Chuck E. Cheese, Planet X, stuff like that. But they do it at their house, in a house, they're going to do it in their own house. Why would they want to go to somebody else's house and do it?
That is a very good question. We are exploring that further, but I think we would target a segment of people who want a homey, like intimate environment, and then maybe the place that they may want to go to is already booked, so we would have more a more readily available source of venues, and then we would also just work to see what the kind of events that people want to hold and cater our services to those things. We're asking those questions in customer discovery. We still have a lot more customer discovery that we need to do.
So I think that maybe the grad student market could be a really good market to target because like we have this problem all the time when I was in grad school is that everybody lives in apartments so you don't have that space. So like maybe it's not like a place for little kids, but like people who live in small apartments but wanted to get together like a larger group of people, like we probably would do something like that.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
My name's Matt. From the perspective of the homeowner, my biggest concern as the homeowner would be, what are you going to do to guarantee me that my house isn't trashed by this graduation party or bridal shower? I certainly know people who have trashed their own homes with a graduation party or bridal shower. So I just want to know what it is that you're going to guarantee me that's not a problem I've got.
Well, I definitely think that's a concern that most people would have. All I can say is we would be there monitoring, or we would want to be there monitoring. We would like clean up, make sure it's, you know, the way you left it, and we would try and target customers who aren't gonna trash places. I know that's a difficult suit, but I mean, the thing is like we wouldn't, and to any college students, I'm sorry, but like, we wouldn't like be like, hey, 21-year-old, you can have an event at this really nice house, because like, well, you know, you're not gonna throw a kegger, and you know, we're just not gonna like target those people, or we're not gonna like stop them, but we're gonna make sure that we do like vetting and make sure that the customers are responsible, if I can say. But we will be monitoring and making sure, like taking those extra steps to make sure that the homeowner's like investment is not damaged.
All right, so I get to ask our final question every week. If there's more, please stay after and talk to these guys. They would love to hear your feedback. I know you have a couple ideas here, but you know, we always end our presentations with the question, what can we all do to help you?
Well, we really want to make more connections, do more networking, meet people in these areas. So if you are a homeowner, or if you know event planners and caterers who want customers or would like to talk to us, we would appreciate those connections. Just we really want to build a network of customers asking questions, but also like a network for this business, essentially.
So more customer discovery, basically.
Yes, more customer discovery.
All right, awesome. Let's give it up.
All right, let's just take a quick 2-minute break. If you need more coffee, go and grab it. Otherwise, take just a minute to fill out that feedback form.
1 Million Cups is an educational program for the startup community. Each week we bring together entrepreneurs, civic leaders, and other community members to hear about the products offered by 2 local startups and the challenges they're facing.
You're going to learn a lot from them and they're going to learn a lot from you, and that's the point of why we're here.
It's not just about finding out all your good things. It's like, what's getting in your way? What do you really need?
It's just about real people standing up and talking about what they're working on.
And then you also get to hear about the heart behind their business.
This really offers a place for entrepreneurs to go when they don't know where else to go.
1MC has really filled that void to provide an atmosphere and an opportunity for people to connect.
There are a lot of classes that you can take about how to do specific things in a startup, but to see somebody actually go through those steps is a real live experiential learning opportunity.
Being involved with 1 Million Cups is absolutely incredible. It's been incredible for our city. The leaders are top-notch, and the community involved is terrific.
We're always looking for new communities to join the team. If you're interested in caffeinating your community, go to 1millioncups.com to apply.
1 Million Cups changed the game.
We'll see you guys all next week. Thanks.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
what I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
One Million Cups is an educational program for the startup community. Each week we bring together entrepreneurs, civic leaders, and other community members to hear about the products offered by 2 local startups and the challenges they're facing.
You're going to learn a lot from them and they're going to learn a lot from you, and that's the point of why we're here.
It's not just about finding out all your good things. It's like, what's getting in your way? What do you really need?
It's just about real people standing up and talking.
So hopefully you had minutes to fill out those feedback forms. I can't stress it enough. Those are really important and really helpful to our presenters, so thank you for doing those. I am really excited about our second presenter today. This is a guy I've known for a long time from the startup community, who's been a good friend over the years, and is really kind of the definition of a serial entrepreneur, somebody who's just started multiple businesses, is always coming up with something new and interesting. And I'm just really excited to hear about his latest venture. So I mentioned at the beginning, Ben is a JPEC alum, so maybe we can ask him a little bit about that in the questions if you guys are curious about that transition. Otherwise, I think without further ado, let's do one more of those big standing ovations for my friend Ben Anderson.
Hey, thank you very much. Go Hawks, right? Well, thanks for having me here today. I'm excited to talk about my latest business venture. And so I'd like to kind of get started by asking a quick question. How many people in the room have ever sold anything? How many people of those of you who didn't raise your hands think that you'll have to sell something at some point in the future? Okay. When you think about cold calling, how many people like cold calling? Okay, so a couple hands. For those of you who raise your hand, I'd love to talk to you later if you're looking for a job, anything like that. But, I would say that you're definitely the exception, not the rule, right? Most people do not like cold calling. Cold calling is hard to pick up the phone and talk to somebody you've never met before. There's a fear of rejection, and just the idea that, hey, I might make 100 phone calls today, and maybe I'll talk to 5 people, right? It's kind of a hard proposition to start your day with. So 360 Momentum is a business that helps kind of overcome that problem for businesses and help businesses be successful in sales if maybe not everybody's a great seller. So let's say that you're a established business. Let's say you've got a sales team and you're looking to grow. Maybe you're trying to add additional clients, or maybe you feel like your sales team needs a boost. Maybe you need more prospects or better leads. Normally what you do is you go out and you hire a salesperson, right? So as you hire that person, you think about the ramp-up period. I'm going to have to train this person. I'm going to have to bring them on. They're going to have to understand my industry. They're going to have to ultimately start creating activity and setting appointments. A lot of times that can take a long time. In addition to that, you have a lot of expense outside of just what you're going to pay them for their salary, benefits, retirement savings, time off, all that other stuff, computers. Maybe you're a startup business. Maybe you're a founder. Maybe you're an engineer or someone who really understands what's going on with a particular industry, but maybe you have no sales experience. Maybe you have never picked up the phone and tried to call somebody or cold call them, or maybe you're so busy trying to run your business that sales isn't a priority, but ultimately it should be. So, what do? How do you address that problem? So, there's a solution, and that solution is 360 Momentum. So, what we do at 360 Momentum is basically combine 5 major sales functions into a turnkey solution for a variety of different businesses. So, essentially, we focus on prospecting for your business. So we work with you to define who your targets are, what industries, what companies, and then ultimately the names, job titles, emails, and phone numbers for those people. And we can deliver that information to you. If you're looking for a turnkey solution, then the next stage is the lead generation and appointment setting piece. And we do something kind of unique. So in the technique that we use, we apply not only sales techniques, but also psychology into the mix. And for us, it's been very effective at helping businesses identify decision makers, understand whether the business prospects that you're reaching out to are actually in a position to make a purchase. If they're not in a position to make a purchase, why is that? And will they make a purchase at some point in the future? After that, then we can help manage the life cycle of your sale. So proposal delivery, follow-up calls, contract signings, all of the logistics that come with selling, we can manage for you. And then we wrap it up with a bow by providing you with sales management functionality, which includes reports on a weekly basis to kind of outline the activity that we did. Were we successful in the campaigns that we were running on your behalf? If so, what did we learn? If we weren't successful, why was that, and what can we change to be more successful the next week? And because we've kind of compartmentalized a lot of this and it's very process-oriented, instead of hiring a salesperson and waiting, let's say, 30 to 90 days to ramp them up and bring them on board, we're ready to start running campaigns in the first 5 business days. So it's a very quick process to get you going, which again, if you're a startup or somebody looking to make a quick change in your business, is time that you probably don't have. So on top of all that then too, we also offer sales coaching and workshops. So once you get into this process, we find that a lot of the entrepreneurs that we're working with might be experts, again, at their business or their industry, but maybe they don't understand how to pitch. Maybe they don't understand how to present in a meeting or write a proposal or run a discovery meeting appropriately. So we can help coach businesses on those functions as well. So who do we help? What types of businesses? Our process is only for B2B sales, so this isn't a B2C type strategy. If you are in a solution-based selling or a strategic environment and you're selling to other businesses, this is a perfect solution. We're great to help young startup teams. Anybody with new ideas ready to hit the market very quickly, we can help do that. We also, again, work with established sales teams looking for boosts. So if, let's say you have a star salesperson and you just know that they're best suited being out in front of clients or having meetings, things like that, we can help support that individual with increased leads, qualified appointments, so that all they do is do what they do best, and that's sell. We work with companies looking to make their first sales hire. So if you're at the stage where you're looking to hire your first sales employee, again, because of the way we package our 5 services, it's a turnkey solution. So you end up ultimately paying about the same amount of money that you pay to hire a full-time person with benefits, but you get the functions of 4 people. So again, prospecting, lead generation, appointment setting, inside sales, and then sales management. So it ends up being a nice kind of starter package for businesses looking to grow quickly. We're not here to replace an existing sales team or be your only sales team. Ultimately, we're here to help create processes that allow your business to grow. And so when you do get to the point where you're looking to hire more people specifically for your sales force, we're not territorial, right? We can help bring those people in, train them on the processes we've used, and then once you get to the point where you're self-sustaining, then we back away and let you operate independently. We're also actually pretty good with helping define products or markets. So if you have a product and you're like, I'm not really sure how this product's going to be received in the market, or maybe who would be the actual purchaser of this product, we can do some discovery campaigns that help determine kind of, it's almost like an accelerated customer discovery process, only you're selling in the same phase. So you're learning why people are buying, why they're not buying, and kind of what the sales cycle could be as you start to roll out your new business. So, kind of our approach here, we're a young company. We have 2 customers today. We'd love to have more customers, obviously, because we're a business. But our goals kind of are to try to get our first 5 customers in the first 90 days. So we're maybe 30 days in to that 90-day period as of now. The following 6 months, we hope to acquire an additional 10 customers, and then the 6 months following that, an additional 10 customers, so 25 total customers. So we appreciate your help spreading the word. If you know of businesses where this might be a good fit, people looking to make their first sales hires or looking for a change in their sales companies, we'd love to talk to you. So that's essentially the business. So we'll take questions.
my desk at the Bell, his picture from when he was in college is above my desk. So I get to look at Ben every day and think, wow, we got to create more Bens out there. So you have a number of hungry young startups in the room.
Okay.
You offer services to startups, but when is it realistic in terms of, I mean, the pre-revenue? What models do you have in terms of how you get paid?
Sure, how our business gets paid.
Yeah, if they have no money to pay for it, how little money do they have to have?
Yeah, well, so obviously no money is a struggle for everybody, but we have kind of a variety of different options here. So as I mentioned, we kind of focus on this variety of services here, and although we're a turnkey solution, you don't have to purchase all 4 services for us. So for relatively little money, we can go out and provide you with that targeted prospecting that helps you basically start your own sales cycle or process. So again, what we do is we try to use some psychology in how we determine who decision makers are, but then we have tools that allow us to get very specific in terms of who the people are that could or would be purchasing your service. So if you wanted to, let's say, purchase a list of prospects from us, we'd work with you to kind of define who those people are, and then give us a day, and we can go out and pick those people up for you and deliver them to you in a list. And that list includes, addresses, names, phone numbers, email addresses. So you can mail them, you can email them, you can call them. It ends up being pretty accurate information. Generally, the accuracy of the information we can find is about 80%, which is kind of in line with most lead generation sources, but that becomes your information to keep.
Do you have sectors that you're going to specialize in? Because when I think about reaching clients effectively in sales, right, at some level you've got, you hope you have salespeople with good knowledge, so you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So, we're a young business just like a lot of you in this room, right? So we're learning as we go. And the things that we're starting to learn are this process works best when you have a medium to large sale value, just because of the investment that you'd make. I mean, if you're looking to hire a salesperson and your average sale is, $50, that salesperson's going to have to sell a lot to pay for themselves. So when we work with businesses that have larger individual sales or have recurring revenue models, those tend to be businesses that benefit or can see the benefit in our services more directly. We also have found for some reason manufacturing, industrial, those tend to be industries and businesses where this has been the most successful. We work for a company that produces precast concrete shelters for telecom, so concrete boxes, basically. And we've been extremely successful helping him go to market in a space that's crowded and difficult to identify decision makers and find opportunities. So, we have found maybe a couple areas where it's not a great fit. Advertising. We tried it with advertising and it just didn't seem to work. So we're still, I think, poking holes in where we are most helpful, but so far that's what we know.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Sure.
So also, the next thing I want to know as a business owner is tell me about your bench, right? So how are you getting this pipeline of people to be able to do on your side of things?
Sure.
Having all this flexibility and all this stuff.
Sure. So when we sat down, we kind of thought a little bit about people, right? I'm a salesperson. I tend to be a little bit more creative, but maybe I hate process. I like being out there, I like talking to people, but do I like sitting in front of a computer to find contacts? Absolutely not. And a lot of salespeople are like that. So what we do is we try to identify personalities, people who are very analytical, people who like to search for things or hunt, feel good about spending a lot of time to find something very small. And we put those people in our prospector roles. So as you kind of latch on to 360 Momentum, we assign essentially a team to your business. And those people then go out and find the prospects. Then we work with people who are more personable, people who like to talk to other people and interact. Those people then become our lead generator appointment setters. And then the same thing with inside sales and sales management, right? Inside sales people are relationship driven. They're there to try to help build rapport and long-standing partnerships with different companies in the industry. And then the sales managers are people who've been in the industry for a long time, understand how to manage people, know more about direction, things like that. Yep. Yeah.
So you said, you want to focus on B2B businesses. Is there a reason why you don't want to do B2C?
some of it is past experience, some of it is maybe just personal opinion, but I personally believe B2C is reinforced more positively through aggressive marketing, because you're trying to get at individuals where they're, people don't like being bothered when they're at home. I mean, people hate getting cold calls while they're at home. People hate getting spam email. So to support B2C, I believe you have to have strong advertising or marketing, right? And you could use sales to support that, but in a B2B environment, you generally tend to be more strategic. So especially if you have a product or a service that's solution-based, being able to have a person who can sit down and kind of create a business case for another business decision maker as to why a product or service would be a good fit, that can be done much better through this process than other methods. So I think like a lot of things, you kind of develop a process and you get comfortable with it, and we know we can be successful, so we try not to steer too far away from it because maybe we're not as comfortable there. Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry. What one, two, or three things differentiate you from other people doing the same thing?
So a lot of the other people that are out there are just cold calling. It's like Smile and Dial Factory, right? You walk in and there's 100 people just making phone calls. We're not that group. We have smaller teams. We get real strategic with the business owners and the business decision makers. In the first week that you work with 360 Momentum, we work to get inside your head, basically. We understand your industry, we understand your marketplace, the objectives of your clients, the situational factors of those clients, so what's affecting their ability to do business outside of just their own objectives, objections that they get from clients that they speak with, or potential clients. You're not going to get any of that with somebody like an Infinity Contact or some of those other big cold call groups in this area. So we don't ever really want to be that. I think we can best support smaller companies who are looking to be more strategic, trying to make a place in a market, maybe don't have as much of a budget to do it, but are growing and hoping to be successful. So hope that answers your question. Yeah.
And helping them, because a lot of times they don't understand who their customers are either.
Exactly. Some of the businesses we work with, when we sit down, the first question we ask is, who's your target? And I've been surprised to learn that not everybody knows who that actually is. So we help them define that, and then we help them kind of go through the exercise of understanding their market in a more direct way. Because again, we have to learn that to be successful too. So in a sense, we inject ourselves on the sales process of your company in ways that we hope and ultimately will make them better. Yeah.
Ben, maybe you can talk a little bit about this idea of using different your existing resources in a different way, and how that was really an offshoot of an existing team.
Yeah, so like kind of how we got here, essentially? Or?
How you spun off, how this became a spin-off for another business.
Sure.
Basically using capabilities you already have.
Sure, great question. So outside of this business, I own a software company, and we target Fortune 100 telecom consulting companies. Can anybody think of who that is? Right? Like ultra niche. And unfortunately, all those companies are huge, thousands of people that work there. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, we've built this software platform. We have one client. We need more clients. How do we get into those businesses? So I knew who the decision makers were. And so I needed a process whereby me, who was operating this business by myself, could not only run the business, but then also be a sales team for it. And so over time, this basically evolved using the technique with psychology, some nice automation tools and integrations, that effectively every week I was performing outreach to 250 new businesses. And because a lot of what I was doing was kind of happening automatically, I was then managing my business during the day, but then getting outreach to all these people as it was happening. So I kind of thought, okay, this is interesting, and I at the time was moving, so I moved to a new place. Here I moved to Cedar Rapids, and I thought, all right, well, as I'm growing this business, I have room for outside work, so I latched on to somebody who needed similar help, and I basically did this process for him, and it was successful. And he and I kind of sat down, and he's like, geez, there are a lot of other businesses that could benefit from what you've done for me. Let's turn it into a real business, and that's what we did. Yeah.
Awesome. Ben, thank you so much for coming today. Hopefully some of the students can connect with you after.
Yeah, sure.
Hear your
Feel
story.
free, anybody.
Yeah.
Go Hawks, right?
Yeah. Awesome. So I get to ask our final question again. What can everybody in this room do to help you move forward?
Yeah, thanks. So what we could really use right now is just helping kind of get the word out, right? I think there are a lot of people that can benefit from sales help. So if you're aware of a business that's maybe looking to grow or needs maybe a boost on their sales team, pass on our information. We'd love to talk to them and see if what we offer is something that can help. So help us get to that 25 customers, I guess.
That's great. Give it up.
Thank you.
Awesome. So at the end of the show, every week we open it up for announcements. Anything good going on? Any good news people want to share? Anything at all?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jessalyn. I'm marketing director for Nuvoco. I'm a volunteer to 1 Million Cups. So Nuvoco, we've had a busy couple weeks, some exciting announcements coming out. First of all, yesterday, EntreFest, in case you ever have not heard about it, it is Iowa's largest entrepreneur conference. It took a hiatus in 2016, but it will be back in 2017, May 4th and 5th. It'll still be in Iowa City. That's really exciting. It's now under Nuvoco, and we're hiring a director of EntreFest. Those applications are open. We're also hiring a program manager for the Iowa Startup Accelerator. David Sminsky, if you raise your hand and wave, you get to work with him most often. And they also are hiring a code school instructor, specifically I believe it's JavaScript. And we have a part-time vault community manager position also open. So all four, they're all on our website. If you have any questions about them, please let me know, or David, or Caitlin.
Jobs on jobs on jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing some of the students in the room might not. Who's actually been to EntreFest before? Yeah. So does anybody who's attended want to just talk about like what it is and why it's amazing? Yeah. Yeah. You guys can both go. Why do you love EntreFest?
Well, my biggest thing was the networking through it, because you have people that come from all around the Midwest to Iowa City, and there's also workshops so you can learn about how to fund your business, coding, UX, all sorts of cool stuff. There's also like, last year was a magician, I think, and there's like all these fashion shows and stuff like that, and free drinks, free food. Which is but
Speaking to the students.
it's a great networking event to meet people who could put you in touch with somebody who could help you out. That's probably my biggest takeaway from it.
Yeah, kind of to echo that, just the workshops there are amazing. Sometimes there will be like 3 or 4 or 5 in a single hour, and it's really hard to choose which one to go to because there are so many great options. So what that does is that it creates opportunities for everyone. So if you don't like one of the talks or you think that doesn't apply to you, there's always a few more to go to in the same hour. And just the networking, and everybody is just so excited too the whole time. There's so much enthusiasm that for my team it really motivated us to buckle down and work harder and kind of keep up that momentum for months afterwards. So.
Yeah, it definitely has been a catalyst for a lot of people.
I guess this is more maybe tailored towards the students, but like when I went to EntreFest, the community was super healthy, and like regardless of my age, like I was still taken seriously by everybody, and I really found a lot of value personally in that. So.
Yeah, I think definitely the biggest problem with EntreFest is what we call the FOMO, the fear of missing out, because there are just so many amazing things going on at any hour of the day, people to talk to, great things you can learn. So that is definitely one of the biggest announcements that I think has come up in recent months. So super excited about that. Go ahead and put that on your calendar, May 4th and 5th, 2017, right now. Cool. Other announcements? Yeah.
I'm Froa. Excuse me, I'm a Jake alum from Des Moines, there's the trees, from last fall. So we have a restaurant technology company based out of Des Moines using cellular equipment on Verizon's network. Today's event was our first broadcast with a cellular modem that we own. It was streamed live to YouTube's link. Kofi is the blue team, and his team are the ones going through Venture School right now.
So if you have any website industry, just contact us on our website at bluevinemedia.com, and our website is info@bluevinemedia.com. So if you need a live audition, feel free to contact us. And we'll stick around after, and then we can talk with you then too.
All right, that is a great service for sure that I know a lot of people need. Cool. Patrice, would you want to talk a little bit about Invest in She and how that went last week, and Emily as well?
Yeah, so 6 women entrepreneurs, including myself and Emily, got the opportunity to pitch at Invest in She last week. It was by far the largest crowd that I've ever had to pitch in front of. So I pitched my startup Partware, and what we're doing is we're building software for industrial sales and distribution companies to help their employees identify parts and locate manufacturers. And it was an amazing experience. We won 2,000. How much did you guys win? 7. They won 7. They did such a good job. And so it was a really great opportunity to bring the community together. One really exciting thing for us that came out of it is we got connected with Van Meter Inc. and they're a major distributor. So we get to go and meet with them today. The CEO invited us to come and meet with some of their employees. So hopefully some exciting opportunities come out of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just a really great event for women entrepreneurs in particular. You know, in Iowa, you guys probably heard we don't have the greatest track record in that area, and so really just a good thing to support women like Patrice, Emily, Rebecca, that you pitched today, to get up and share those ideas. Other announcements? Yeah, right on. You're wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing the T-shirt, but I'm not going to talk about this today. I can if you want me to.
I totally assumed that was what you were going to talk about. What else you got?
I probably will. But the Iowa City Area Association of Realtors Young Professionals Network, which I'm the chair of, is hosting the first annual beanbag toss tournament. You know, the game with the bag tossing. We figured it has a bunch of different names, and we don't know what the right one is. But that's on the 30th of this month. It's just a networking potluck/tournament. It's $20 to register a team. You need 2 people. There are still some spots open, and the winner gets a split pot of that money, and half of that goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's an organization that we've been working with this year. So if you're interested, there's a Facebook event, but we messed up the privacy settings, so you can't see it. I can send the RSVP link to Sarah, or
if you want to send
just come talk to me, and I'll send you a thing. It's at Sugar Bottom. Rec Area Shelter 55, I think, from 5 to 7, June 30th. Come network with area young professionals. You don't have to play. You can just come and we'll supply burgers and hot dogs. It's an all-ages event. You can bring kids. Well, please don't, but you can. You can bring your own beer, too, if you're of drinking age. So that's thing number 1. Yeah, you're welcome to come. It's a Young Professionals Network event. We're going to bring people in from all over the area, the Quad Cities. Maybe Des Moines, jeez. And yeah, this is for the Iowa City Area Association of Realtors. The Iowa State Association of Realtors is holding an Instagram contest all year. All you have to do is hashtag your Instagram pictures, #MyIowaHome, #MyIowaHome. Winners get published on the blog and the Realtor Benchmark magazine and other things. Yeah, so just hashtag #MyIowaHome. It goes on all year.
Instant famous.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Ricardo.
All over the state.
Other announcements? Yeah, go.
July 21st is the King Press Box is the Summer Accelerator Demo Day, so the best and brightest from the Accelerator. You can come see people like Rebecca here and how far she comes in a month. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Do people need to RSVP for that?
No, I just show up.
Just roll on
1 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll be great to see all these students and how far they come. Cool. Other announcements? I feel like we got a lot of good stuff today. We heard about a couple jobs in New Boca. Yeah,
Just give a quick shout out to Mark Hadley if anybody's not met him yet. He's got an event that he's going to throw, first of its kind, called Tiny Bit of Space. Most people probably don't remember floppy disks, but the idea is that he's got a bunch of floppy disks and he's going to run like 144-minute sprints, and what you create is a make day. What you create has to fit on that 1.44 megabyte disk, which is pretty crazy to think about because we're carrying gigs in the pocket. So, but that's going to happen at Vault. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. He's got a whole day planned out, so it's going to be pretty spectacular. Tiny bit of dot space, I think, is the website, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, that's happening this weekend, so it should be a super fun time, just a creative way to play with technology. Okay, so we heard about a couple jobs at New Boco. Is anybody else hiring? Anybody else looking for amazing people to join their team? Yeah.
Well, I guess the Area Association of Realtors is looking for, is there an executive director? Yeah. So, yeah, because the one we have right now, Pam Damon, she's retiring at the end of July, so if you know anyone who wants to direct the Association of Realtors, yeah.
Realtors got a lot of stuff going on, man.
There are like 400 of us in the area.
Just doing stuff, making stuff happen. I love it. Cool. Any
Find out
other
about this.
opportunities or the flip side? Is anybody looking for gigs, looking for work? That one's always fun. Awesome. So that is all we have for you today. Thank you guys for coming out to 1 Million Cups, and we really hope to see some of you next week up in Cedar Rapids. We have 2 more of the Venture School teams pitching. I believe it's Swift and Shifting. So that should be really good. Otherwise, we will be back here 2 weeks from today, same time, same place. I think the last thing, if you are a Venture School team and we have you scheduled to present and you need to change your presentation date for any time, please come talk to us before you leave today. All right? Awesome. So thank you all for coming out. You can bring the feedback forms up here.
I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.